Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sport on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. So much excitement in the world of sports. Club World Cup still ongoing and the former champions have been kicked out in a dramatic fashion, scoring and they're equalizing back to back. We saw all of that happening and finally Al Hilal defeated Manchester City 4-3 in the round of 16. A whole lot of action happened last night. We also saw the Brazilian side also qualifying after defeating Inter Milan 2-0, and is sparked a whole lot of controversy within their locker room, where players are even urging other players to get out of the team if they wouldn't want to play and continue, wearing the Inter Milan jersey. We'll be having those conversations. Still, on the other hand, the head coach of Manchester City has also talked about the challenges that they face and reasons why they had to lose, or not had to lose, they lost the match against Al Hilal yesterday. So all of these actions, we'll be talking about it, but still we'll be starting from the home front as always. Not so interestingly, but still we still have interesting things that's happening in the home front, where we've seen the female volleyball team has qualified for World Championship. We'll be talking about that, and also talk about the KO punch that received just hours ago. Now let me bring you up to speed with what's currently going on in Nigerian space. Netherlands overtake Nigeria over World Championship relay sports. Nigeria's hope of fielding a men and a women 4x100 meters relay team at the 2025 World Athletic Championship in Tokyo suffered a major blow over the weekend after Netherlands surged ahead in the qualification race with a record-breaking performance at the European Championship in Madrid. Both nations had previously been tied in 15th position with identical time of 38.20 seconds, which would have been enough to clinch one of the final two qualification spots based on timing. However, the Dutchmen clocked a sensational 37.87 seconds, setting a new national championship record and European lead, efficiently knocking Nigerian down to 16th and the last spot of the provisional qualification bracket. With only 16 teams qualifying for the relay event in Tokyo, 14 from the World Relays in Ganzhou and 2 others based on top performance lists as of August 27th. Nigeria's position is now in the doubt. Currently sitting in the 16th position, the men's team could be dumped further down the list should any of the Brazilian team, clocked 38.40 seconds, Jamaica clocked 38.45 seconds, Trinidad and Tobago clocked 38.46 seconds, or other nations improve their time in the coming months. So there's still time. There's a high chance that Nathaniel and Co might not qualify for the 4x100 meters hurdle that will be coming up in September. So looking at all of this, now there's a high chance that they might still lose out, but if they maintain this and no other country gets close to the mark that they have, talking about the time now of 38.20 seconds, then they would still qualify. But if they don't, now if any team doesn't beat that, then if a team beats that, maybe a nation beats that and maybe gets closer to 38.19 seconds, then Nigeria won't be represented in this category of 4x100 meters. So we'll see how all of this will pan out, and then we are hoping Nathaniel and Co having their fingers crossed and hoping that they will get to qualify for the 4x100 meters hurdle that will be coming up in Tokyo by September. So we'll see what happens on the 27th of August and what will remain, if Nigeria will be represented in the 4x100 meters or not. Still talking track and field, some exciting news this time around. Favour Ofili Nathaniel set for Diamond League debut in Australia. Nigeria will be strongly represented at the historic 50th edition of the Classic as the 5 athletic headlining by Favour Ofili, Ezekiel Nathaniel, and take center stage individual alongside some of the biggest names in global athletics, including 14 world record holders. Ofili and Nathaniel will both make their career debuts in the Diamond League circuit at Howard Field to mark a major milestone in their rising international profiles. They will be joined by 100 meters hurdle world record holder and 3-time Diamond League champion Toby Amosun, 7th ranked shot putter Chukwu Ebuka Ikwechiri, and seasoned sprinter Rosemary Chukwuma. All of these individuals will be represented and will be joining Favour Ofili and Nathaniel Ezekiel, who would be making their debut in this feat. And these individuals are still world record holders in their respective colleges. We saw just a couple of months ago where Favour Ofili, set a world record of 150 in the 150 meters category. We also saw Nathaniel Ezekiel set a record for the NCAA 400 meters race. So these individuals are setting records and breaking them, and also that automatically is pushing their career towards where is expected to be. Still, they'll also be representing Nigeria in Tokyo's in the Tokyo's championship. That's talking about the World Athletic Championship that will be coming up in Tokyo the month of September, but it's still hanging in the balance if there will be in a relay match based on the current happenings and the switch. Still, the conversations with Favour Ofili's affiliation to Nigeria is still on because of one is still on, but nothing has been confirmed yet. The World Athletic Body hasn't approved any form of switch of alliance. That's based on what Favour Ofili is saying. She wants to switch alliance to the Turkish side, but still, nothing has been said. But the Athletic Federation of Nigeria have said that Favour will still be representing Nigeria. So we'll see how all of this continues to pan out in the next couple of weeks. So moving on, Nigeria qualifies for beach volleyball World Championship. Very interesting and very exciting for the volleyball individuals. The Nigerian women's beach volleyball team has qualified for the 2025 World Championship in Australia, scheduled to hold from November the 14th to the 23rd. The pair of Estamba and Palma Boa beats Egypt 2-1 to finish in third place at the just concluded Continental Championship in Morocco. The head coach of the team, Kayode Ajilore, told the news that players showed class and brilliance in delivering their jobs. Ajilore said the result in Morocco was an indication of hard work and determination for the entire team. These ladies are very, very, superb. I've actually watched them play, though I don't know so much about about volleyball, but these ladies were very, very spectacular with the ball. They kept their cool, they attacked properly, and they have what it takes to be crowned world champions when it comes to the level of playing beach volleyball. I beg your pardon. Yes, so we'll see how all of this pan out, and then preparations are ongoing. And the coach said, Ajilore made mention of the fact that new people will be introduced into the squad of the volleyball team as they want to build a very, very strong side, a very strong and resilient side to go compete in the world stage. So looking at it now as it stands, basically there's a whole lot that needs to be done. The camp is open and they are getting themselves ready ahead of the competition. So we'll see how that happens. November is around the corner, and we'll definitely bring you updates of any happening injury concerns and new individuals that will introduce into the women's squad to help them win the World Championship and advance further. The last time this trophy has never been won by the Nigerian side. So let's see how all of this will pan out, and this is obviously a time for them to improve better because of what they have so much time. Just like Shehu Diko, the Commissioner of Sport, has always emphasized on, he has always said that it's good for early preparation, and if you don't prepare and conquer the grassroots, then you shouldn't have, no team should come to him and have conversations around international competition. But now, from what we're saying now, basically we've seen these ladies conquer the continent of Africa, and now they are advancing into the world stages. So kudos to them, kudos to Coach Ajilore, and kudos to the ladies for putting up all the work to make sure that they see themselves qualify for the World Championship. So moving on and having conversations still, we'll be moving on and talking about Flying Eagles as they reopen camp for CAF Boys Cup. We'll have this conversation immediately after this break. Stay with us. Yes, and excellent many things for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is still Talk Sport, and I'm Samuel Odi. Now let's get into this other angle of the conversation around football. Flying Eagles reopen camps for CAF Boys Cup. Nigerian under-20 male team, the Flying Eagles, have now converged again in Abuja, the country's capital, for their final phase of preparation for the CAF WAFU B Under-20 Boys Cup, which will be played in Ghana from July 10th to the 23rd. Is just going to be a 13-day tournament. The tournament is said to be organized to foster regional collaboration and showcase emerging football talent across West Africa. The maiden edition in Accra, Ghana, will bring together 13 nations of the 20 teams from across the WAFU Zone A and B. After ending their initial campaign abruptly due to the postponement of the tournament, the head coach of the team, Aliyu Zubairu, confirmed the resumption of the team after a new date was announced by the organizers. The team's camp in Abuja comprises some of the players that have helped the country pick the tickets to the 2025 Under-20 World Cup in Chile, and a few new players. Nigeria is drawn in Group A alongside host nation Ghana and Benin Republic, while Group B features Niger, Togo, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. The top two teams from each group will progress to the semi-finals, and then the action would continue. Looking at how the Flying Eagles, participated and how they performed in the just concluded Under-20 African Cup of All Nations that was played in Egypt, we'll see how well they'll be able to continue that trajectory, because now they are actually in the phase of getting themselves ready for the 2025 Under-20 World Cup that will be played in October later this year. So looking at this now, Ali Zubairu made mention of one fact. We saw major concerns around the Flying Eagles, which has to deal with the defense, midfield, and also attack. But the major problem we saw during the Under-20 African Cup of All Nations game that was played in Egypt was in the attacking front line, because they created lots of opportunities, but they couldn't find the back of the net. Ali Zubairu said in his words that they are going to do something better and find a way to be more clinical when they come in front of goal. He made mention of overhauling the whole team after this not getting the results that they expected at the end of the competition. But he says he's going to overhaul the team. But people and different individuals, sports pundits, have actually reacted and said overhauling the whole team that helped you advance and win a bronze medal is not actually the right approach. I think taking away some players and bringing fresh legs that would mix with the chemistry and experience, I think is going to help the team. So we are seeing that a couple of guys have been dropped, but we are not totally certain of the total number of guys that were dropped for this matchup, and ahead of the World Cup that will be coming up in September or October. Later on, we'll see how well they'll do, but this time around I think it's going to be a morale booster if they can win this cup, if they can win this championship. If they do win this championship, automatically now they are getting in, having more momentum and more excitement to be able to go into the World Cup. So their edges and their momentum will be high based on the fact that, yes, we're coming out from a competition victorious, and then that momentum of them being champions would carry them all through to the World Cup. And if they maintain and play as a team and dot their I's and cross their T's, then they wouldn't have so much, concerns to worry about. So moving on, still talking football transfers. Now let's talk quickly about transfer, as Fulham are now interested in Super Eagles striker. The Premier League side, Premier League club Fulham are lining up a move for KRC Genk forward Tolu Arokodare. Arokodare was top scorer in Belgian Pro League last season with 17 goals, and he won the boots, the golden boots for the league. The Nigerian international displayed for Genk has alerted a number of top clubs in Europe. His tricky pace and pressing has made him one of the most sought out after young striker in Europe. Manchester United are also monitoring his progress and could still send in a bid before the end of the transfer window. Bundesliga giant Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund have also been credited with an interest in the player. Fulham are desperate to bolster their attacking options after coming close to securing a place in the Europa League last week. The Whites have already established contact with the 24-year-old representatives, and Arokodare has already expressed interest in playing in the Premiership side. A move to the CAF contest will see him link up with his international teammates Alex Iwobi and Kelvin Bassey. Weeks ago, we saw Tolu Arokodare coming out to make mention of the fact that it will be a dream come true if he gets to play in the EPL. Specifically, he said if he gets to play in Manchester United, because he, as an individual, he's a fan, and he said most of his family members are fans of this said club. So would he fit into Manchester United? I think he will, because he plays like Victor Osimhen, and he's very, very aggressive, and he is a goal scorer. So how well will he be able to fit in? Now, I think playing in the EPL is tougher than playing in the German league, in the Spanish league, and also in the Bundesliga. Now we see Nkunku being adapting now that he's in Chelsea and also getting ready to be traded. We don't know how that will pan out, because he is part of the list of those that will be traded away from Chelsea. So he has understand the system of how the matches are being played and how physical and how fit you need to be to play in the EPL. Looking at Arokodare now, he has that momentum, he has that fitness, and again, he is a goal scorer. So can he fit into Fulham or Manchester United? I think he will fit into this side, because he has played in the German league and is also very physical. They play very, very physical kind of game in Genk. So we'll see how well that will pan out and how well he will be able to, fit in properly in this league. So if they really want him, they should pay what he's worth and then have that conversation. Talking about paying what one wants, let's talk about Victor Osimhen, as Napoli have included Victor Osimhen in their pre-season plans. Napoli is pre-season is expected to begin on July the 14th, and the Nigerian striker is expected to rejoin his present club's teammates for the start of preparation for the new season. Osimhen, who has been on holidays in Nigeria, had returned from a loan spell at Galatasaray, where he scored 37 goals plus 8 assists in 41 games across all competitions. The 26-year-old helped the Turkish Giants to a domestic double, winning the Super League and the Turkish Cup, which was what he promised them as of last year November when he got into the team. While his next destination is still unknown, Osimhen has already rejected a $40 million annual offer from Saudi club Al Hilal. So looking at it now, currently as he stands, it's very interesting that earlier before now, he wasn't part of the plan of Antonio Conte's, lineup. Now, Napoli are not wanting to let him go, because one, they are expecting him to take a pay cut, and they don't want to shut down the money that would, cut down the money based on the offer that Liverpool is bringing for Nunes. So looking at it now, he's part of the preseason plan. Then what would now happen if all of these deals don't pull through? Will Victor Osimhen go back to Napoli and play for them, or he'll be shipped somewhere else on loan. Based on the fact that he doesn't want to reduce his release clause, obviously you can mention three world-class strikers now and not have Victor Osimhen in the mix, which is not possible. So let's see how all of this will pan out. Okay, after the preseason now, what then happens? If Victor Osimhen don't get traded within this transfer window, where would we find Victor Osimhen? Would he go back to Galatasaray on loan, or he'll be shipped to a different country, or rather a different league or a different club for loan? I think that would be the best, because at that point now, if he continues this trajectory and getting into his peak, if he gets to win another trophy, if he gets to win another trophy for another team, probably on loan or with Napoli or wherever he finds himself, because as we stand now, his destination is still very much unknown. So if he goes somewhere else, entering into his peak, and then wins trophies again, and then win golden boots, I think his prize money is automatically going to go up. Now it's going to boil down to him to decide to be a free agent and then decide on team to go to, or maybe have an agent who would also work things around for him. But for currently, his loan spell has ended. He still has a couple of years, months, I think a year, just a season left with Napoli. Then when that is done, he can automatically decide to be a free agent and decide where he would want to take his his talent to. So moving away from that, I'm certain Victor Osimhen will make a very good decision on what to do next. So moving on, let's talk Club World Cup, as Fluminense stuns Inter Milan to a 2-0, defeated Inter Milan 2-0 to reach Club World Cup quarters. Fluminense sent Inter Milan packing from the Club World Cup early hours of today with a 2-0 win in Charlotte that took the Brazilian side through to the quarter-finals. Germany's Cannon's header from close range gave Fluminense an early lead, and they then withstood an unslaughtered form the Italian side in the second half before substitute Hercules sealed their victory late on. The Rio de Janeiro outfit, who qualified for the Club World Cup thanks to their Copa Libertadores triumph in 2023, became the second Brazilian side to make the last 8 after Palmeiras had already sealed their quarterfinal spot. Captained by 40-year-old former Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea centre-back Thiago Silva, Flew will now go to Orlando for a tie on Friday against Manchester City, or no, against Al Hilal, because Manchester City have been knocked out. So I'll bring you still highlights of this game that was played yesterday, but before then, let me still bring you up to speed with Manchester City as they got eliminated. The Club World Cup will have new champions this year after Manchester City suffered a shock exit in the last round of 16 in the hands of Al Hilal. The Saudi Pro League side needed extra time to win 4-3 in the early hours of Tuesday morning. For the fourth consecutive game, Pep Guardiola's men went in front within 10 minutes, with Bernardo Silva sweeping home from close range, while only 44 seconds into the second half, Marcos Leandro made it 1-1 before Malcolm gave Al Hilal the lead in the 52nd minute. Erling Haaland ensured the match was leveled again 3 minutes later, but still Al Hilal thought they had won it in extra time after Kylus Kambler headed in a corner kick, but Phil Foden squeezed home a volley for City. However, Leonard's second of the match, 8 minutes from the time, proved to be decisive as the 2021 AFC Champions League winners pulled off a shocking victory. So this is just very exciting, and it was just so not in shock but exciting, because we saw that in the previous season of the 2024-2025 Premier League season, the UEFA Champions League, and also league games, underdogs, teams that haven't won championship in decades and their existence, came out stunningly very hot and very hungry, and won themselves some trophies. So now, are we expecting to see the same thing? You know, the Brazilian side have been underrated and the Saudi Arabian side have been underrated, but without people knowing that these sides play very strong, physical and interesting football. Now we are seeing the results show for itself. Teams that are not even expected to advance this further are still in, and then teams that were expected to go further and probably win have been kicked out of the race. So we'll see how all of this will pan out as we bring you highlights of the game between we'll bring you the highlights between Fluminense and Inter